So for today, I am so pleased that we have as our special guest Mary Pat LaMair. And today we are going to explore a conscious conversation. And Mary Pat, we're going to do this in the form of a session we had agreed on. How may we serve? What's up? What would you like to explore today?
That's so interesting because I feel like that's such a loaded question because it's also what do I not want to explore?
Right.
So for me, it's always a back and forth between being hungry for truth and not wanting to look at things. So with that being said, on the drive over, I kept thinking about how just even being filmed was triggering me. And so I wanted to explore being seen. I say all the time that I want to be seen, and yet that feels vulnerable to really be seen. So,
Absolutely. So if you were to guess, what is vulnerable about being seen? Because if someone sees you, then what? What makes being seen vulnerable? It's a great exploration, by the way.
I guess the piece that they'll see the imperfections in me, and that they'll use that.
No! No!
And that they'll use that as a reason to reject me.
Got it. I love your awareness. So here we are talking about it. The vulnerability of being seen is if we're seen, then we can't necessarily control how someone else perceives us. So this is really a control issue, right?
I'm sure I don't have any of those.
So if I let you see me, then I can't control your conclusion. You can love me, you can hate me, somewhere in between, and I can't control you. I really can't.
Yep.
So being seen, where if you stay like, this is my plastic face, this is my, being poised for going outside of my home, that gives us this veneer, this posturing that isn't authentic. It's not real, and it can be icy, and it's not a whole lot of fun because it can even be mechanical. And the thing is, when we truly hide, there's a building up of walls where we're not letting anyone see the authentic self. And the thing about building up walls is then that leaves us feeling lonely. Crap. That leaves us feeling abandoned and rejected because no one can get to us. And so we are all alone. And not only that, we've abandoned and rejected ourselves. So this is a pile. That's a professional term. So if we really move into the exploration of being authentic as we walk outside of the door, as we're in public, as we allow others to see us, there's really an aspect or an invitation to surrender. What if I don't try and control what you think of me? Because the reality is I can't anyway. You can love me, you can hate me. I might trigger you so much, but my triggering you, in truth, has nothing to do with me. If you're triggered because of me, then there's something inside of you to heal. So right now, go ahead and just take a deep breath. And now, with this portion of the conversation, allow yourself to sink into the fears and the vulnerability of letting people see you. What if I do see you? What if I don't like you?
For me, that goes into like, can I love and accept myself no matter what you think or you put on me or how you perceive me?
Absolutely. So what if we went into a specific example? Because where this is you're not giving anyone permission not to like you. And
Okay.
that controls you. So whenever we open up, if you're trying to control whether or not I like you, you automatically open yourself up to being controlled. It's universal law. No other possibility. If you're trying to control someone else, you are open to being controlled. So that's where the gift of surrender comes in. Because when you really and truly live a surrendered life, there isn't the poising, the necessity to try and control anyone. There's just acceptance, there's free will. So I'm going to invite you, give me an example of someone in your life who you've been afraid of rejecting you or not liking you. And you don't have to use the real name or the real relationship, or you can.
Well, I'm open to you picking because I have a laundry list
Okay.
that I could use. So, and you know me pretty well. So if there's somebody that seems particularly
How about a
helpful.
sister?
Okay.
Okay. And so just allow yourself to connect with a relationship where, with one of your sisters, where you don't feel like you're fully accepted. You feel vulnerable being seen because you feel judged and you don't feel safe. Does that resonate?
Sure.
Okay. So now go ahead and take a deep breath, using your breath to fully sink into your body. And allow yourself to sink into the possibility of giving me, I'm your sister, sink into the possibility of giving me permission to not accept you, to not like you. And watch what comes up inside of yourself. I don't approve of you. Like, I'm taking on the role of your sister, and I do not approve of you. I think you should have it all figured out by now, and clearly you don't. I think the choices that you make in your life are stupid. What are you experiencing?
It's interesting because I'm experiencing being triggered, but I'm also experiencing like the ridiculousness of it. So
That's called contrast, okay? And the conflict comes in where the part is that you are experiencing being triggered. So we don't need to change the part of it that sees truth and how ridiculous it is that you even care about what I, in the form of your sister, thinks about you. But we want to lean into the part of you that's triggered because that's what's coming up to be healed, right? Okay? So lean into the part that's triggered. And when I say, I think your life choices suck, tell me about the triggering. Tell me about what you're experiencing internally.
well, there's a part of me that hasn't forgiven myself for some of my life choices. So that triggers that part of me that's not at peace
Got it.
with myself.
Got it. So taking a deep breath and using your breath to sink into your body. And this is where the healing is, sweetheart. Just recognizing how the aspect of you haven't forgiven yourself is huge and it weighs on you, and then you project that onto other relationships. So right now, be courageously, I want to acknowledge it's very courageous of you, but be with the part of you in the things where you haven't forgiven yourself. Taking a deep breath again, Mary Pat, what haven't you forgiven yourself for?
Well, all of them come down to not listening to myself.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wow.
And
so it's a matter of trust.
Yeah, and to being afraid that I'm gonna, I have all of these examples of how I've not been kind to myself. So how do I know that I'm not gonna repeat that, whether it's in that form or in another form?
Got it.
So, then it does translate into a feeling of I can't trust anybody because I can't trust myself.
Absolutely. That is solid. So taking a deep breath, and first of all, we want to recognize that trust is related to awareness. You can only make a new choice for yourself in relationship to being aware that there's a new choice to make. You can only have your own back if you're aware of what your needs are and what you want. And that doesn't make conflict wrong, because if somebody else wants something and you're used to giving until it hurts and then giving some more and losing yourself, it is and it can be really difficult to, in awareness, and make a new choice and not make them wrong for wanting what they want, but not make you wrong for saying, thanks for asking, no, that's not authentic to me. So when we're doing our work and we come to a new place of being loving and kind to ourselves, really we can only do that in awareness. And in awareness, it's about allowing ourselves to move into what is the new choice of what I need. There's the listening to ourselves that you talked about. So right now, allowing yourself to take a deep, deep breath and using your breath to sink into your body. And I'm going to invite you to begin a process visualizing a golden ball of light above your head, 100 feet in diameter, and use it as a golden light of purification and connect with the intention of, just like shooting stars, calling back all of your energies from all the times where you have not listened to yourself, whether it was in relationship with someone else, relationship with a job, relationship with family of origin, like all those aspects of denying self. When we deny ourselves, that impacts us with an energetic fragmentation. It's like our energies are fragmented all over the place. And so this is a really powerful process. And just again and again, allowing anything that you are aware of and just be with the process. Okay, here in this relationship. Maybe multiple items with one relationship where you denied yourself again and again and again. And continue with that. And if something shows up more than once, can just, again, shooting stars, bring it back. And we're holding space to fully bring this energetically into present time and to support you in bringing these purified energies in through the top of your head and to fully integrate them into your body. It's a welcome home. Not making your past wrong, but acknowledging it with loving kindness and compassion. So again, taking a deep breath and just go through the process of calling back your energies from all the times you denied yourself.
Well, it doesn't make any sense, but for me, it all goes back to the being seen, like not wanting to acknowledge that I didn't just come into the world perfect and have done everything perfect all along the way. You know, I want to live at a higher level and more aware and more conscious, but it's a not wanting to acknowledge that I haven't been there from the beginning.
And by the way, you have lived your life perfectly. Like stumbling, fumbling, drop the Holy Grail, pick it up, knock the dents out, you know, move forward in life. Like, that's part of the perfection of life. We don't know until we do, and that's a part of it. You wouldn't expect your child as a newborn to know their ABCs because that's not part of the evolution. So, what are you going for? I can't forgive myself for something that's not even possible. Like, I think you're being kind of hard on yourself. Like, you're holding yourself to some standard that's a fantasy.
The ego being unwilling to see,
Mm-hmm.
you know, at times
It's
I don't even accept myself as being human.
It's using life, your life, to make yourself wrong. So you're using the reality of existence to feel like shit. That's the technical term.
Sounds like a great idea.
Well, apparently. Again, if I'm playing the role of your sister, if I disapprove of you, you don't need me to disapprove of you. You're already disapproving of yourself. You're just using my disapproval or projections onto you or my insecurities or my trying to control things to feel bad. Like, because your own agenda of some story of perfection of life that isn't even possible because there's nothing about it that's in alignment with reality. You want to be born all-knowing and holy? Well, you were. Like, but
Right.
part of the all-knowing within the element of humanity is it's a process, it's an evolution, and you're not having any of that. So can you forgive yourself? Again, meet the no. Can you feel it across the frontal cortex? No.
Oh yeah, and my teeth are clenching. You know, it just occurred to me too as you were talking about not even needing my sister or whoever it is to not approve of me. That part of that plays into that I've come to this conclusion, right? That I'm imperfect and a worthless, you know, whatever. Insert whatever word, but I don't trust myself. So if I know that you'll give me that answer too, then it's like, oh, see, I thought that that was the answer. And she said that was the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So that must be the answer.
Got it. I love this part of the conversation because you're coming from, here's my conclusion, I have it, and when a new possibility comes in and somebody's loving, you're like, yeah, that's not in alignment with how I feel, so I can't respect you. If you're really going to love me and accept me, that's not how I feel about myself because I'm connecting with I'm not worthy. So the aftermath of that is I'm going to reject you and I'm going to think you're a moron. Like, I can't respect you. You love me. That's not in alignment with how I feel about myself. And I have my answer. So the space that you'll let people in for is more of what is in agreement with your own conclusion about yourself. And then you get to be mad at them. And there's no personal responsibility. It works great. All those ways and all those times you used others to feel bad, okay, but what's the truth?
I just use them to do my dirty work.
Right, and name your dirty work, because we want to be clear. What is your dirty work?
Being an asshole to myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because if someone's insecure, of course they're going to project their insecurities on you. But you don't have to accept delivery if you're aware. But in a place of freedom, you can see the truth of it all. And just like the invitation to open your heart, it's what you've always wanted, because opening your heart and living through your heart gives you the connection that you've always wanted. Opening your heart and living through your heart gives you access to the truth of who you are. And no one else can do that for you. That's your journey. And it's a journey without a distance, because it's wherever you are. And you are cordially invited to live through your heart in any given moment. Now, and now, and now, and now. And what are you going to do about it? Can you forgive yourself? Right now, there's a lot of judgments and criticisms across your frontal cortex that are lit up. We're bringing them fully into present time, and we're allowing them to be washed, purified, cleared, and cleansed with pure consciousness. There's also some vows and hidden vows.
That's what I was just going to ask you.
To not be loving and kind and respectful of yourself. There's no contracts. There are some karmic debts and karmic agreements as well. So we're working with bringing those fully into present time. But in the meantime, let's go back to the vows and hidden vows. Allowing yourself to connect with and feel deeply in your heart, I revoke any and all vows and hidden vows. Saying it out loud. I revoke any and all vows and hidden vows.
I revoke any and all vows and hidden vows
that keep me held.
That keep me held.
In limitation, pain, and struggle.
That keep me held in limitation, pain, and struggle.
In my life.
In my life.
Now.
Now.
I open to daily guidance.
I open to daily guidance.
For my highest good.
For my highest good.
Here and now.
Here and now.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Wow, what are you experiencing?
It's like marrying myself.
And how do you feel about that?
Pretty good.
So isn't that what you always wanted? Marrying yourself. Does that mean you'll love, cherish, value, that you'll have your own back, that you'll connect with your highest good, like what you need on behalf of yourself? And if you don't know, connecting with humanity and a new possibility? Like, what the heck? That's terrific.
It's pretty cool to realize on a different level, you know, the amount of outsourcing of that I've tried to do.
And so now, from this point, try on, I forgive myself for not forgiving myself. What are you experiencing?
I don't have to tell you.
No.
You know. I don't have to say anything.
Yeah, but it's a conscious conversation, so share.
Like wanting to get myself there, but I'm not totally there. But I feel softening.
Yes, and it's a process. So allowing yourself to honor the process and not make yourself wrong, but just lean into it. How does it feel, the possibility of forgiving yourself for not forgiving yourself? Like, how does it feel, the possibility of, in awareness, having your own back? And by the way, right now we're simultaneously working with releasing blocks to trust, trusting self. So shifting consciousness of your relationship to trust.
I can feel things like melting away and not it's not like a betterment because because I'm posturing or being strong, or it's just a relaxing, like a settling in.
Yes. Excellent. And one more time, taking a deep, deep breath and allowing yourself to open to the possibility of, I am love. So Mary Pat, what would it look like in your own life if you had your own back even more? What would that look like? What would change?
Everything. I mean, I think that's what I was talking about with the settling. It doesn't have to be having my own back and aggressively like kicking everybody to the curb, but it can be a genuine, I'm taking care of myself, and so these things shift and evolve.
And I think it's really important because sometimes as we start to change and as sometimes we align with self-care, other people are like, whoa, 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 you're changing, get back here. And they're fearful of being abandoned and rejected. And so it's very important to have clarity. No, no, no. Yes, I am making these decisions and I'm not doing that for you like I used to, but I'm not doing it aggressively or as flipping you the bird. I'm doing it for myself and out of loving kindness for myself. And it doesn't mean that I don't love you, but it means I'm learning how to love myself. And through that love of self, things are changing in how I relate to my life. And you can articulate it when you know clearly what's going on. And there's not the same defensive, I'm not doing this for you. Right. And there's no fight. There's just a new direction. There's a new opening and there's a new possibility because you're relating to your life different from how you used to. You're relating to life in a way that is in alignment with loving kindness, more and more and more. And if I'm not mistaken, it's what you've always wanted, right?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of nice shifts taking place. Looks so good on you.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. How does it feel?
Good.
What do you want for yourself?
The possibility to be and do whatever
is true for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Marrying yourself is a really good idea. And if I'm not mistaken, more and more you're learning to enjoy your own company.
Yeah.
Welcome home, sweetheart.
Thank you.
And so it is.